Unacademy. Let's crack it.
Hello everyone, I am Dhairya Gangwani and I'm an electronics and communication engineer turned management consulting analyst. I currently work with KPMG in India as an SAP analyst, and just out of my personal interest and passion, I also actually found this very different side of mine where I've also been doing a lot of career coaching, and I'm also a public speaker and a mentor, and that is what I do after my 9 to 5 job. And today I'm extremely delighted to be actually sharing my journey of bridging the gap from VIT Vellore, which is my university or institution, to actually going ahead and working with a top consulting firm, which is KPMG. And today I think I'm going to talk a little bit more in terms of my personal journey of the kind of roadmap that I followed, how I began my journey of even figuring out that I want to get into management consulting, what kind of failures I faced, what were the high points, so what were the successes as well, and what really helped me in this entire journey is what I'd like to talk about, and also probably give you a few tips which could help you in your journey of figuring out which company do you want to really work for and what are your areas of interest. So let's get into the video and start with the first aspect of things, which is when I had to figure out what is it that I actually wanted to do. I come from a top private university, which is VIT Vellore, and there is intense competition and a lot of people there who are extremely talented, and obviously because of the kind of opportunities that you have, it's always a little intimidating to understand what you would want to do. And I found myself in a similar position right from first year. However, it was in second year when things got a little daunting for me, because everyone around me was going with the software jobs and everyone wanted to follow the rat race, and I somehow didn't want to do what everyone else was doing, right? And coming from a core background of electronics and communication engineering, it was obvious, and everyone ultimately expected me to probably get into a core electronics and communication job, or else get into the IT field and do a software job. And to my surprise, those were two options that I really didn't want to go for. And that was the first time when I realized that even though I'm getting good grades and everything is good with ECE, I don't want to pursue it as something that I want to do for the rest of my life, probably, or for the forthcoming years. And that's when in second year I started my journey of exploration, is what I'd like to call it, because that journey of one and a half year where I explored everything, right, and where I understood myself better and I analyzed things about my personality better, changed the course of my life for me, and it really helped me find out what is it that I genuinely want to do. So in second year, I realized that I have this, I would say, uncanny inclination towards the management field, which is where I want to understand how things really operate, how to deal with people, how to work in teams. Managerial things started attracting me. And when I spoke to a lot of seniors and other people, they told me that, if you want to get into the management field, that's only possible after you do an MBA degree, or it's only possible once you have some sort of a postgraduate degree. And yes, in most of the cases it is also, even in the big fours, if you look at it, unless you've done your articleship and you're from, you're a CA, they don't really hire BTech undergraduates from a technical background for consulting roles, because consulting roles, when they hire for those roles, they tend to take MBA graduates at a higher scale, because of obvious reasons that they've had that managerial and business knowledge because of the course they undergo. And that was the same thing which was told to me. However, I feel I was a little adamant and I wanted to explore the consulting field and I wanted to explore the managerial field. But I knew that because I'm from a technical background, I would have to upskill myself, I'll have to learn new things, and I'll have to obviously add on to my profile. Profile building was my focus. And that is what led me to start searching for internships in the management field. And trust me, it was not easy, because my resume was just not reflecting the kind of experience they wanted, because I was from a technical EC background. I did not have any internships on my resume prior to that. I was just a part of 2 clubs in my university until that point, and all I was facing was rejection. I think I faced about 50 to 55 rejections from various companies before I landed my first internship. And I remember that there was a point wherein I think near about after 30 rejections where I was about to give up, but somehow something just kept me going because I knew that it's not going to come easy because I'm actually transitioning from a technical to a non-technical profile. And obviously I'll have to undergo some amount of rejection or some amount of learnings as well. Each rejection taught me something better, and with each rejection I learned that everything that you do in college, whether it's a project you work on, whether it's a club or chapter or society you volunteer for, whether it's an NGO you work with, whether it's a fest that you organize, there is always some amount of learning from all your experiences. And all that counts is how you articulate it on your resume. And that is what I was not being able to do. And in my applications, right? Once I started actually letting them know that through the Toastmasters Club, where I was a core committee member of, how I was building on my confidence, on my public speaking skills, on my communication skills and networking skills, or how through being a part of the IEEE chapter in my university, I was learning some technical skills, building projects, learning team building because we were always working with teams, organizing events. I started showcasing those skills. Or even when I was doing or making projects, right? In college, I was learning team building, I was learning teamwork, I was also learning project management, I was learning technical skills when I was building a technical project, and I started showing that. And that's how the magic happened. I started getting replies, I started getting shortlisted, and I landed my first internship with an Abu Dhabi based startup. So it was an international internship and it was a paid internship. And it was surreal because that was the journey of me actually finding out what I really genuinely wanted to do. And then obviously getting the second internship, the third internship or the fourth internship obviously becomes fairly, I would say, way more simpler. And it was no different case for me as well. And I did not even realize when I ended up doing over 20 plus internships before I graduated. And I did them in different managerial domains like sales and marketing, operations, HR, consulting, and I think even content writing and whatnot. And all of those internships have actually made me who I am today. The exposure, the networking opportunity, the ability to be working with companies in the US and the UK from India, adjusting to their time zones, understanding how teams really work, understanding how to coordinate with people, write effective emails, communicate, everything I learned through these internships. And all of that was exactly what I needed to know to get into the corporate world or to get into a consulting firm. And then I was done with my third year. I'd completed all my internships by then, and our placement season had started. And I think I remember very clearly that almost all the big fours do come to our campus. And KPMG also came in, and I was very specific about the kind of companies I wanted to sit for because of the various internships I'd done and how focused I was in terms of at least the domain I wanted to get into. I did not sit for any software companies or any core electronics companies. I only sat for companies which came in for managerial roles, and specifically for consulting, I was obviously more inclined there. The process was very, I would say, wholesome in itself and holistic, because it started with a shortlisting round, right, where I was judged on the basis of my mathematical reasoning and logical ability. So it was an aptitude test, and I also had a psychometric test as a part of the first round. Post which there was a group discussion round that took place, which was again very interesting because we were being judged individually in a group, and the topics given were very, very interesting and unconventional, I would say. So I thoroughly enjoyed that process as well. After the group discussion round, we had a technical interview round wherein the resume was the sole basis of everything, right? So the recruiter walked through my resume. He asked me a couple of questions from my project section, from my skill section, also some questions from my previous work experiences because I had done a lot of internships. So that was again very interesting. I was also given some basic case scenarios or case interviews where I was supposed to analyze the situation and the problem of the client and come up with an effective solution or a probable answer of the problem, right? So that was those were some elements, or I would say parameters, on which I was judged. After the technical interview, I had an HR round where obviously the focus was more on the behavioral aspects, situational aspects, personality, and how I am the right cultural fit for getting into the company, right? So my knowledge about the company was tested, my knowledge about the role was tested, why I wanted to get into consulting, why I wanted to get into this role in consulting, all of that was tested. And I think other than that, it was more about giving me situations and asking me behavioral questions like, tell me about a time when you had to, let's say, really display some exceptional leadership skills, or tell me about a time when you faced a conflict with your boss and how did you handle it. Those are the kind of situational and behavioral questions I was asked. And then obviously it was more around, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, or what are your future plans, or questions like, would you be willing to relocate, and are you okay with traveling, because consulting is a job where you have to travel a lot, so they'll surely ask you that question. And then I had a last partner level round. So partners are the people who are at the top of the hierarchy in management consulting firms, and I had a telephonic interview with him where he was going through my resume and asking me questions around some things that really fascinated him. So I remember that a research-based project that I'd done, even though I'm from a technical background, and because I had the privilege of taking up an elective in the managerial field, that really attracted him, and he asked me questions around that project, which was I was doing a research on the 5 major pain points that Airbnb faces as a startup, and how they can be resolved, or how at least you could come to a space where they could be operating at a better efficiency and those 5 problems could be eliminated. So he asked me a couple of questions around that. He was very impressed also with the different internships I'd done. So we had a conversation around that. It was obviously more of a formality around, but that was how the entire process was, and that really helped me. I think the 50 rejections, and then obviously KPMG was not the first company I made it into. I faced a lot of rejections even in the placements before that. Also failures in terms of, people feeling like I wouldn't make it because I was not going with what the crowd was doing. All of those things really played a very major role in where I am today and what I'm being able to do, right? Even now, managing, the mentoring sessions that I take, the workshops I take with colleges, and the collaborations I do, content creation that I do is not easy. But I think it is from those failures and from, people probably not believing in yourself that you start believing in yourself even the more. At least for me, it was that. I think, I don't know how exactly to put up the successes, but I just feel that the areas or the places where I realized that I'm very happy doing what I'm doing was obviously when I got into a consulting role. And other than that, I'm following my passion alongside my profession. That is something which is very, very delightful for me. And having been active on LinkedIn for the past 1 year, and having built a community of over 50,000 followers, and creating content for so many amazing students and working professionals like all of you who are viewing this video is what really keeps me going and motivated. And I think when you're happy doing what you're doing, you're successful. So I believe that that's it on the success front. And I hope that all of you just keep doing what you genuinely want to do. Don't go with the general norms or what everyone else is doing. If you feel you're passionate about something unconventional, something out of the box, or something which is not relevant or related to your educational degree, it's completely okay and normal to pursue it, as long as you're willing to put in the efforts and you're happy doing it. That's the message I want to give towards the end of this video. Until then, I think keep hustling, keep working towards your goals, be happy with whatever you do, and don't compare your career journey or your life journey with anybody else. Thank you so much, and I hope that this video has helped you. Do share it with people if you feel it could really help them and give them a boost. And I'd see you in another video very soon, where I'll be sharing some more specific information on different topics that can help you in your career. Thank you so much.